Welcome back in, everyone, to day 2 of the inaugural Lincoln Challenger. Joining me now, our first ever, let me say that again, first ever main draw winner of this Challenger event. It's Paul Jubb. Paul, first of all, congratulations on the victory today. You played a hometown Husker in round 1. Talk me through the match and how you were ultimately able to pull through in straight sets.
I think the conditions were very tough today. That was probably the main factor, but I mean, just always happy to get a win. That's the main thing. Dealt with the conditions well, managed them well. So for me, big positive. Always important to look at those positives first, and yeah, you always want to kind of get through smoothly when someone has the home support and they have some extra fans, and you don't want to allow them to get, I guess, any extra energy for no reason and make it, I guess, more of a college match or whatever. So happy to get on and off the court in a couple breaks in the second, but somewhat, smooth sailing.
Yeah, and on that note, you mentioned those breaks there. I think it was he broke back for 3-all. He broke back for 4-all. What happened there on court in that moment, and dealing with that win today? What adjustments did you have to make to ultimately get through that finish line?
I think honestly he, for some reason, raised his level, kind of didn't miss in those games. Whereas I guess in the other games he was maybe a bit more inconsistent.
Sure.
So yeah, maybe caught me off guard a little bit, but more so just raised his own level. But yeah, kind of the games after that, I just stayed solid, kept my composure, and kind of gifted me those games back. So yeah, I think ideally don't get broken back. But just responded well and was able to kind of maintain a solid base there.
Yeah, and obviously it was a massive summer for you, first ATP final in Mallorca. I'm curious how you feel about your level as we approach this final third of 2024, back on the hard courts, now back here in the States as well. How are you feeling about your game as we head towards this home stretch?
I feel solid. Like maybe I don't feel great right now, but I feel like I'm training hard, I'm working really well day in, day out, which is the more important thing.
Sure.
I'm giving myself the opportunity to play well. So for me, that's the important thing, doing the basics well. Working hard day in, day out, trying to do the right things, and kind of now I've been around long enough to kind of know that's the important thing, and that's things can change quickly, and next thing you know, you're playing great ball. Hard court is different to grass court, so there's a lot more work that needs to be done in order to win matches. I feel, it's harder to finish the points and little things like that. But I feel like I'm working well, which is the main thing, and trying to put myself in the right positions.
Yeah, and speaking of that, obviously one of the hardest part we learn about tennis, it's not the actual playing of the sport, it's trying to figure out how to schedule correctly. And I'm curious, you make that tour final, and obviously that's going to give you a points boost. That's going to put you in a position to play things. You're here in Lincoln this week. What does the schedule look like moving forward as you try to boost that ranking to get yourself into a prime position for 25?
Yeah, I think after the US Open, maybe try and play the bigger challenges, maybe in Asia or in Europe. I know after the US, there's a bunch of challenges in the States, but then maybe the smaller challenges. So I think, for me, I want to obviously challenge myself and play up when I can, and kind of those tournaments would kind of benefit me more if I did well in those tournaments. I think right now kind of making that decision whether I go Asia, Europe, or potentially a few in the States, because there's so many in the States. So still need to make that decision, but I want to play the big ones if possible.
I love to hear that. Here's my last question for you, and Dave Emke, who I think is LSUS, friend of the program here, here's why I ask. That's maybe my favorite hat I've seen at a tennis event so far. That's good, my friend. I'm curious who hooked it up, because it's a good look.
This is the sponsor, but I chose it myself. I like it. It's my favorite hat right now. I saw it. And had to have it.
I like it. It's the half MasterCard with the full hoop up top. It's a good look, my friend.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, it's certainly a good look for you out on court today. Straight set victory. Always a pleasure to see you, Paul Jubb. Congratulations, my friend.
Appreciate it.